we vote for you?
Diplomatic efforts to halt the Israel-Hamas conflict and secure a deal to return hostages held in Gaza have intensified in recent days and will be a focal point at the Democratic Convention in Chicago this week. The Biden administration's position on the Israel-Hamas war, now in its 11th month, has reduced support for Democrats among Muslim and Arab American voters, who represent crucial votes in election battleground states like Pennsylvania. Already on Sunday, protesters carrying Palestinian flags and signs calling for an end to the war took to the streets in Chicago ahead of the convention. Some 40,000 protesters are expected to demonstrate outside the convention on Monday, and organizers say the number could swell to over 100,000. Dozens of Muslim delegates and their allies are seeking changes in the Democratic platform and plan to press for an arms embargo on Israel, which Harris's security advisor said earlier this month that she does not support. While activists make up a tiny fraction of convention delegates, disruptions inside the hall and large protests outside could hurt the party's plan to unify Democrats around Harris. Meanwhile, the Trump campaign will try to divert media attention away from the Democratic convention with a series of events this week in swing states, again in Pennsylvania as well as in Michigan. Prominent Trump supporters said they hope he will refocus his campaign on policy rather than the repeated personal attacks against Harris. With just 79 days to go until Election Day, Kamala Harris made her latest campaign stop in the swing state of Pennsylvania on Sunday. It's just a day ahead of a critical moment in her campaign, the Democratic National Convention kicking off Monday in Chicago.
How are you doing?
Harris stopped at a local campaign office alongside running mate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz before heading to a rally outside Pittsburgh, where she drew a line between her strategy and that of her opponent, former President Donald Trump.
Anybody who's about beating down other people is a coward.
She did not name Trump, who took aim at Harris the day before in his own Pennsylvania rally.
Because she's a truly radical left lunatic.
Since replacing President Joe Biden on the Democratic ticket, Harris has brought fresh energy to the campaign. Opinion polls show she has closed the gap with Trump nationally and in key states, including Pennsylvania, that will play a decisive role in the November election. In an exchange with reporters at a stop in Moon Township, Harris again called to achieve a ceasefire deal for Gaza.
We are going to continue to work very hard on this. We got to get a ceasefire, and we got to get those hostages out.
Kamala Harris, what have you done for us? Why should we vote for you?
Diplomatic efforts to halt the Israel-Hamas conflict and secure a deal to return hostages